Close Free Press sports writers Dave Burkett and Carlos Monarrez analyze what the Detroit Lions did on Day 2 of 2018 NFL Draft Friday, April 27. Carlos Monarrez, Detroit Free Press. Michigan defensive tackle Maurice Hurst declared himself medically fit to play football last month and said he didn't think the heart condition that showed up at the NFL scouting combine would have any bearing on his draft stock. Boy, was he wrong. Hurst was passed over on Day 2 of the NFL Draft Friday, and the player once projected as a first-round pick now stands the chance of going undrafted. Detroit Lions general manager Bob Quinn declined to say if Hurst was on his team's draft board Friday, after the team used its second and third-round picks on Auburn running back Kerryon Johnson and Louisiana Lafayette safety Tracy Walker. The Lions, so far, have not addressed their need at defensive tackle. I know that's a subject cause we're local here, Quinn said. But I'm not going to comment on who's on or off my board. Hurst was sent home from the combine in March after tests revealed a heart condition that he later said he was first diagnosed with as a freshman at Michigan. He underwent follow-up testing at both Michigan and Harvard, and said after Michigan's pro day workout doctors had cleared him to return to the field, "I think NFL teams will view me exactly the same as before," Hurst said at the time. "If you're cleared, you're cleared. It's not really anything to look back on." That's not exactly the case, though, as NFL teams make their own medical decisions and lower or remove prospects from their board based on medical risk. You have to kind of weigh how bad the medical risk is, Quinn said, speaking in general terms. Either number one HES off your board and you're like, "I won't take him in the 7th round." Or, "Okay, well, we kind of have this guy in, say, the 3rd round. Okay, well, that medical risk is a little risky, so let's bump him down a round and feel more comfortable taking him in the 4th. Maurice Hurst could fill a big need for the Lions, but his heart condition has him still on the draft board through 3 rounds. Photo, John Fuhan. Detroit Free Press. Quinn said the Lions had a tedious 5-hour or so medical meeting leading up the draft to go over the medical tests of every prospect on their board. "I'm really not a happy camper after that meeting," he said. "But it's something that we kind of regroup the next day and say, all right, well, these are the X amount of guys that really have serious injury concerns that we want to leave on the board. Let's adjust their grade accordingly so we're not taking too much of a risk." Hurst, whose heart condition is said to be similar to the one that eventually ended former Lion Nick Fairley's NFL career, was considered one of the best interior pass rushers in the draft after recording 5 sacks during an All-American senior. Through 3 rounds, NFL teams have drafted 10 defensive tackles. Amir's here for now. Amir Abdullah runs the ball against the Vikings during the 4th quarter, November 23, 2017 at Ford Field. Photo, Kurthmon F. Dozier. Detroit Free Press. Johnson's addition at running back means the Lions have a surplus at the position. The Lions typically keep 4 or 5 running backs, and along with Johnson the Lions have LeGarrette Blount, Amir Abdullah, Theo Riddick, Zach Zenner, Tion Green and Dwayne Washington on the roster. Abdullah, who's coming off a disappointing in which he lost his starting job late in the year, has been the subject of intense speculation about his future, and Quinn gave his standard non-committal answer when asked about the running back Friday. More, Amir Abdullah is definitely ready for a big year. Amir's here, Quinn said. He was here this week. Had a really good voluntary mini-camp, so we're going to let all these guys compete. This isn't a one-back league. We carry 4 to 5. Last year we carried 5 running backs on our roster. That's one position where we have great depth, so that's great for us. Where's Glover? Quinn said safety Glover Quinn did not take part in this week's voluntary minicamp because of family obligations he had in Houston, but he's been in constant communication with me and coach about that, so we know what's going on, Quinn said. Download our Lions Extra app for free on Apple and Android. Contact Dave Burkett, dburkett@freepress.com. Follow him on Twitter @DaveBurkett.